Uniformed arrogance finally hit its limit at a Texas Highway Patrol checkpoint outside El Paso. A rookie officer thought her badge gave her the right to humiliate the very people who keep this country moving. But the slap she gave a female truck driver was only the spark that set everything off and led to the worst beating of her life from two women who do not let disrespect slide. Pulling a gun did not help. Threatening arrest did not help either. The 2 o'clock sun on I-10 just outside El Paso shows no mercy. The asphalt looked like a giant skillet, sending heat waves into the air until the whole road shimmered. The smell of diesel mixed with dry dust made the checkpoint feel even heavier. Inspections there were no joke. The border was close: smuggling, drugs, stolen cargo. But that day the problem was not crime. It was Officer Olivia's swollen ego. Blonde hair in a flawless bun, mirrored sunglasses, and a uniform tailored a little too tight, she did not look like she was there to work. She looked like she was there to take her anger out on whoever crossed her path. If you also cannot stand people who use a badge or a uniform to step on honest working people, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments if you have ever been treated unfairly at a roadside stop. What these two women did is going to feel deeply satisfying. Olivia flagged down the first two big rigs that rolled in, a white Peterbilt 579, polished and gleaming, and a blue Kenworth W990. The hiss of air brakes sliced through the highway noise. Out of the Peterbilt stepped Martha, and out of the Kenworth came Patricia. Two women of the road. They were beautiful, well put together, but because of the brutal heat inside the cab, they had stepped down dressed comfortably, short shorts, light tops, and barefoot. And anyone who drives long haul knows flip-flops usually stay on the floorboard while you drive. Sweat was running down the officer's face, smearing makeup that should not have been there in the first place. She looked at the two truckers standing there, cool and relaxed, drinking ice water, and the jealousy hit her hard. "License and registration, both of you, now!" Olivia barked the order in a sharp, shrill voice. Martha and Patricia looked at each other. They already knew the type. They handed over the paperwork. Olivia grabbed the documents like they were contaminated, turned her back, and walked into the shade of the patrol SUV, leaving both women standing in the blazing sun in nearly 105-degree heat. The older sergeant working with her just watched from a distance with the face of a man who was close to retirement and wanted no trouble. 15 minutes passed with them, standing there baking under the sun. Martha, with her shirt already stuck to her back, finally lost patience. "Is this going to take much longer, officer? The load has a delivery deadline." Olivia slowly removed her sunglasses and gave her that icy stare. "I told you to wait. If you were in such a hurry, you should have left earlier. Out here, I control the clock." She did not inspect the chassis. She did not check the tires. She did not review the freight papers. She wanted to humiliate them. Then she stopped in front of Patricia and puffed up her chest. "You think the highway is your own little fashion show? The law requires proper footwear, and that outfit, is that what you wear to work, or are you trying to pick up customers at truck stops?" Patricia crossed her arms and answered with a subtle, dangerous smirk. "I drive barefoot. The law says you can't drive in flip-flops. It doesn't say I can't step out and stretch my legs barefoot. And as for my outfit, my husband likes it. Yours probably just complains. That might explain the attitude. That was the trigger." Olivia crossed the line. "Watch your mouth, you little tramp," she snarled, shaking with rage. "I can impound this truck right now. I can say you're unstable and arrest you for disorderly conduct. This badge demands respect." The insult landed low. Messing with the cargo was one thing. Insulting a woman who spends her life on the road, fighting for every mile away from home, was asking for trouble. Martha had been quiet up to that point, but now her voice dropped and hardened. "Girl, not girl, officer!" Olivia shouted, spitting the words. "An officer earns respect," Martha shot back. "Have you ever changed a tire in the pouring rain? Ever outrun thieves at a rest stop in the middle of the night? What exactly are you frustrated about? Let us go and stop putting on a show. Nobody here is the audience for your cheap little performance. Olivia's brain short-circuited. Used to playing God, her ego reacted before her reason did. Her hand flew and cracked across Martha's face. The trucker's sunglasses went flying into the gravel. The sound was sharp. The silence after it felt like a ton of bricks. Martha slowly turned her head back. One cheek was red, but there were no tears in her eyes. There was fire. Dangerous fire. Martha did not think about filing a complaint. She did not think about court. She drove her left shoulder forward and slammed into the officer. The impact of the tactical vest against the trucker's chest was ugly, and both women crashed down into the gravel. The rocks tore into Olivia's starched uniform. She screamed, not from pain at first, but from shock. In her mind, the badge was supposed to be untouchable. In real life, Martha landed on top of her, grabbed that perfect blonde bun, and shoved her face down into the dust. Patricia did not just stand there watching. On the road, loyalty runs deep. She jumped in and pinned the officer's legs. The radio flew. The cuffs hit the ground. The whole scene exploded. The sergeant came running, red-faced and out of breath, trying to separate them. "Let go! Have you both lost your minds?" he shouted while trying to pull Patricia off. But the strength of someone who handles trailer straps and tarps every day is not the same as gym strength. Patricia shoved him hard enough to send him stumbling into the side of the Kenworth. Martha pinned the officer's wrists to the ground with one hand and with the other returned the slap. 3 hard cracks. That was when the sound of a holster being unsnapped froze everyone. The sergeant pulled his .40 caliber pistol. "Stop right now, or I'll drop both of you!" he yelled in panic. Martha froze with her hand still in the air, breathing like a busted bellows, staring at the barrel. Patricia slowly raised her hands. As the dust settled, the scene was humiliating. Olivia was on the ground, uniform torn, crying and spitting blood. The sergeant cuffed both truckers and shoved them into the back of the patrol vehicle, that metal cage baking in the brutal heat and smelling like sweat and despair. The drive to the county station felt like a nightmare, but once they got there, the whole story turned. The watch commander, Captain Helen Carter, a tough woman in her 50s with a shoulder holster under an open blazer, looked at the scene in front of her. 2 filthy working women standing tall, and a highway patrol officer sobbing, demanding they be charged with attempted murder and conspiracy. "What kind of circus did you bring into my station?" Helen asked in a gravelly voice. The officer started yelling, demanding special treatment because of the badge. Helen slammed her fist on the heavy wooden desk so hard the clerk jumped. "Take those cuffs off them right now. I'm in charge here. And judging by your torn uniform and the faces on these 2 women, this story has too many holes." Helen separated the sergeant and questioned him alone. And when retirement is around the corner, survival instinct tends to win. The sergeant told the truth. 10 minutes later, Helen stepped out of the office with a cigarette in one hand and delivered checkmate. "You initiated physical contact, abuse of authority, assault. And there's more. I pulled security footage from the gas station across from the checkpoint. The owner sent it straight to my phone. When Martha climbed back into the Peterbilt and fired up the engine, Patricia called over the CB radio. "You good over there, partner?" "Affirmative. Let's roll. Freight doesn't wait." The uniformed arrogance was left behind, shrinking in the rearview mirror, swallowed by the darkness of the highway. What we saw here was not just a roadside fight. It was a picture of a country that is getting sick. A female truck driver fights battles every single day in the loneliness of the road, and seeing 2 giants of the asphalt humiliated by the fragile ego of someone who was supposed to protect the public is infuriating. Character does not come with a civil service exam. Respect is not stitched onto a shoulder patch. Respect is earned by recognizing the value of people with grease on their hands and dignity in their hearts. Do you think the officer got what she deserved, or do you think the system always protects its own? Leave your opinion in the comments. Subscribe for more real stories and hit like if you are the kind of person who does not take disrespect home. See you around the next bend.